This episode is sponsored by Rocket Money. More on them later. What was that?
More.
And I believe like it's magic.
Dude!
Based on the nose alone, this is like...
There's a lot to be said about that. Things that smell terrible, but when it bonds with ethanol, it becomes ethyl butyrate, and that smells like pineapples. And it's beautiful.
Wow. So good.
So weird.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God. Oh.
If they made whiskey, it'd probably be the worst.
Weird rum. So when it comes to rum, there's a couple of people in my life that know a thing or two. One of those people is Moose from Andalusia.
This is an independent bottling of my favorite distillery in the world, Hamden. This is Diamond H. It does not say Hamden anywhere on here, but it does say Diamond H, and they're the only ones that use that as one of their ester marks. 10-year-old.
So why is this your favorite distillery?
They've been around since 1700s. Rum, unlike anybody else, the funkiest. They have the highest ester counts in their spirits. And I believe like I believe it was sometime mid 2017, 2015, around that time was the first time they started selling spirits to the public.
I want to hear what you're saying, but here's what happened.
We sniffed it.
And then, you know, like those old Charlie Brown cartoons where the teacher's like,
What the hell is this?
Dude, just based on the nose alone.
Magic.
Dude.
Based on the nose alone, this is like the Isla of rum on the nose right now.
Yes, sir.
Holy hell.
Oh, man.
This is a funky adventure. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
even
got
sipped it yet.
island saltiness. It's got the brine. It's got ocean. It's got runts.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Oh, my God. Oh, that is weird.
I get, well, so many things.
Yeah. It's hard
makes
to
my mouth
keep
water.
track of just one because it's just going.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's some stank
So,
on the end, too.
For most of this place's life, all their rum, the high ester stuff was sold to like perfume manufacturers for perfume base. Then the lower ester stuff was sold out for continental rums, things like Smith and Cross.
Yeah.
Big rums, big name rums you see like that. Their main thing was just sourcing rum to other people, like blending houses. Finally, they were like, you know what? We're going to unleash it upon the public. This was the first time that Diamond H was ever released in an aged way to the public, this bottling.
And it's Hamden, you said.
Yes.
Hamden.
Also, Holmes K does awesome stuff. So if you just want to explore the wide world of rum,
Yeah. Holmes K.
man, the independent bottlings.
Never had anything like what Hamden is putting in this glass
Yeah.
right now.
Yep. So good.
So weird.
If they made whiskey, it'd probably be the worst stuff ever.
Because they're used to doing all the weird funky stuff that you can't do in whiskey.
I think it's just in the air and it infects everything there. There's a guy named his Different Spirits on YouTube, and whenever he has Hamden, he freaks out and he's like, "It's like rocks. They're flowers. There's rocks that turned into flowers, back into rocks." And I'm like, I'm in a cave full of moss with rocks that are flowers. And like, just watching this guy's joy, man. It's like, wow. So, Ray and Nephew White Overproof. Secret weapon, unfortunately, as I've heard through the grapevine, this is no longer produced. Like within the last month or so, they've taken this off the market.
Nice. Another one you can't get.
This is like my favorite go-to, put in any cocktail, put it on the rocks, mix it with seltzer water, whatever you got going on. This was like the most consumed rum in Jamaica. Like I've heard a couple conflicting stories, but I know you cannot find this anywhere.
Obviously, we're getting to a white rum. It's not seen a barrel.
Right, and I have no cares whether it's in a barrel or not. Rum is one of those things. There's a reason we hide whiskey away in a barrel for a while. As long as we're getting some sort of oxidation on the rum, I feel like we're doing our due diligence.
So how would you do oxidation on a white rum if it's not going to
Put it in a big tank with a breather valve, so you know if spirit's expanding and getting warm, it's going to push vapors out.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, if it starts cooling off and forms a suction, it'll let air in. So it'd be a very slow oxidation, but not like a micro oxidation like you're working with barrel aging or something.
Whoa! What? Why does that smell like buttered popcorn?
See, I'm getting
like kettle corn.
I'm getting an overly ripe.
Bananas in a hot car trunk.
Yeah.
And this is fun on the palate that you don't really get on the nose for me. Is there's like this big cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
It's cinnamon and overly ripe bananas. I think
It's those fried plantains.
it's fried plantains. Also, whenever you are letting bananas just sit on the counter for too long, because you're gonna make banana bread.
Right.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite rums. I was really, really sad when they took
Yeah.
this away from me.
Gosh, my car actually smelled like this once when I left a banana in it for
My car
weeks.
smells like that sometimes. Like if you just put this with a cola, it blows up and it makes it taste more like there's actual cola nut in the cola, and it gives us a big cinnamon burst in there.
Wow.
This is awesome rum and Coke rum.
What a smell.
Look, being in whiskey, I see something that's unaged, and I automatically am lowering my expectations.
Right.
If there's
For sure.
Yeah, if there's anything that's going to be nice, it's going to be kind of a granola. But you aren't going to be sipping that.
No, it's not fun, man.
Yeah.
It's good for a reference point.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Rocket Money.
Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better.
I'm actually pretty good with my finances. You, on the other hand,
I canceled one of these streaming services recently.
you used it for the free trial for 7 days so you could watch one movie and then you forget to cancel it and then you pay $30 a month for it. Happens.
Look, me and a lot of other very reasonable, intelligent, smart people out there that have better things to do than sift through their bills. It's like, well, what is that subscription for? Let me consult my spreadsheet.
Rocket Money has saved $500 million of people's money.
Once you connect Rocket Money to your bank account, it identifies all of your subscriptions, organizes them for you, and easily cancel all the stuff that you're not using with a few taps. Rocket Money is beautiful at you getting a snapshot of your finances. Customizing your budgets is incredibly easy, and you can play with all those details very simply to get that outcome that you want.
You're gonna go to rocketmoney.com/whiskeytribe.
Or you can just click the link in the description down below. You're gonna save more, you're gonna spend less, you're gonna join the over 5 million people who are using Rocket Money today.
Unlike that, our white rum kind of gets vatted, sits around for probably 3 or 4 months in a big tank, and then I've got big totes that I'm holding it in right now.
Yeah.
But it's 114.
Okay, this is a lighter touch than the Overproof you just poured here.
Yes, and very different smells.
Yeah.
So this has a touch of my muck pit and dunder pit in it, but not a huge amount. Enough to give it a little bit of fruity flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is that?
Dude, there's like a...
A papaya? What am I thinking?
Papaya is what I get.
Yeah.
Like overripe papaya.
Yeah, hell
papaya,
yeah.
and then there's also...
Can I mess your head up
That's
with this?
weird.
There's a new car scent in there, which I find quite appealing.
There is.
You can't do it in whiskey, man.
Right.
But like that chemical aspect is really fun. It rides the line between new car scent and like fresh suede. Like you could be persuaded either way.
Persuaded.
Flavors, yes. See what I
Either
did?
nice.
Damn it.
Nice.
New car, fresh
Papaya.
suede, and papaya.
Yeah. So this is a pretty well-rounded rum. It sinks into a lot of cocktails. It'll do a classic daiquiri really well. A little unlike the majority of the rums coming out of America or Texas. A lot of them are playing it safe, man. Let's see next.
Why did you choose Balcones as a weird rum?
Oh, because the rum program was weird. They were doing weird stuff with muck and dunder.
What the hell is muck and dunder?
Thank
Muck
you.
and dunder. Dunder technically is leftover stillage after the stripping of the molasses.
What do you do with the Mifflin?
The what?
Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, yes, yes.
Nice.
Okay, so that's the leftover stillage. Now, once you let that stillage sour and become bacterially infected with all sorts of things, on the nicer end of it, that being just like a lactobacillus infection, like you're making a big thing of kombucha.
Yeah.
And then
she
there's a
loves the
lot
I
of
love
other
this.
stuff
Yeah.
being produced too,
yeah.
the longer it sits. So you're making acids at this point. These acid molecules are going to bond with your alcohol molecules. And once an acid and an ethanol molecule bond, they become an ester. An ester is like just a really, really deep flavor congener. So things that smell terrible, butyric acid smells like cheesy vomit, kind of dirty diapers a little bit. But when it bonds with ethanol, it becomes ethyl butyrate, and that smells like pineapples. And it's beautiful.
Wow. What a change up.
So then you get like a acetic acid, right? In the right conditions, acetic acid will bond with alcohol and it'll become ethyl acetate, which tastes like artificial banana, Laffy Taffy banana.
Yeah.
So like your very typical big funky rums that have that big banana note, that comes from ethyl acetate. So it's all about letting bacteria go wild and bonding with the alcohol and crossing your fingers for good luck.
Wow.
They were doing weird stuff while everybody else was just trying to do the norm.
Speaking of pineapple.
Caramelized pineapple.
Yeah.
And then their weird peat
Big brilliant.
profile.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
hiding out in the back.
Oh, man.
And it's got like that funky horse blanket thing going on. I love this rum. It's really weird and fun.
Open fire grilling a pineapple.
Okay, this one's much more in line with the taste. That's really
Yes.
good. It sets
So
you up.
good.
You're right
It's
in line.
big and deep.
It lands with that sweet wrapped peatiness.
Their rum program was really, really cool. I was sad to see it go.
So far, it sounds like the rum category is the place where, at least whiskey makers, they get to do all the things that you're not allowed to do.
Right.
You're not supposed to do in whiskey.
Pretty light with an independent bottling of a Jamaican rum, says from Rolling Fork. It's 50% alcohol. I've had this bottle for a number of years.
That looks like an old bottle. Some of these are from your personal collection, man.
Most of these are.
Dude, thank you so
I
much.
I
Like, already.
don't think their labels look like this anymore. So this is a really weird rum. The nose, it kind of smells like Elmer's glue.
I don't think I need to tell you this. That's a fault.
In whiskey, these are faults.
You telling me you
Rum
didn't eat
gets
glue?
away with all the nasty stuff, man.
Okay.
It's everything that makes rum fun, and what it is all the things that you can't do in whiskey. Bacterial infections and just long fermentations, hot fermentations, stressing your yeast out. But on the palate, this is kind of like buttercream frosting and sweet vanilla.
Yes. It's like if a kid
Not the same as
was
the nose.
making
It
it.
totally does smell like school glue.
It
Yeah.
does. I can't get away from the Elmer's glue.
Dude, if you were a kid and you had glue in front of you and icing and you're like, I
Yeah.
wonder what the two of those combined would be like. It's this.
Whoa,
It's
totally
hard.
different.
Wait, you
hard to
tasted
keep
it?
going.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Any information about what this actually is, I think it's money musk.
The nose, questionable. The taste on this, the palate is beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
How do you get away with that in rum?
Rum being so widely distilled across the planet allows for a million different variants. Different types of cane, whether you're using cane, sugar, molasses, syrup, juice, any number of fermentable things coming out of the sugarcane plant. Let alone what kind of stills you're running it out of. Are you up on a mountain? Are you down in a valley? Are you by the ocean? Are you in a swamp? Where are you at?
Yeah.
How are you aging it? Are you putting it in new barrels, old barrels? Are you putting it in old tequila barrels? I think that's what makes rum fun, man. It definitely gets to, as a distiller, it brings out the mad scientist.
Are you more of a whiskey nerd or a rum nerd? Because, man,
Rum's what got me started in all of it.
okay.
Yeah. So I was in love with rum and just the weirdness. Andalusia sold me on single malt.
There you go.
And I stuck around till they gave me a job.
Hell yeah. The rum category, it's often described as the Wild West.
It is the Wild West of spirits, man. There's a lot of dishonest things that happen in that
good and bad
industry.
ways, yeah.
Yes. There's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot of, smoke and mirrors and people doing shady stuff. And I've got my own personal rules, try and make sure that it says no additives or no dosage, no coloring, and try and hit it around 46% alcohol. And it's probably not chill filtered. And you're getting a pretty honest, decent rum.
Yeah.
And try it out. Rum's a crazy world, man.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, it's made anywhere that can grow sugarcane. They're making some sort of sugarcane spirit. Whether or not they're calling it rum, R-U-M, or rum, R-H-U-M, or cachaça, or whatever they're making.
You set me up for the next segment.
Dude,
Beautiful.
nice.
Hell yeah, Moose.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Cheers.
You guys check out Andalusia there. They're making really great stuff. Cachaça, speaking of cachaça.
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 Yes.
Cachaça.
Yeah.
Cachaça.
So I know
first time.
for it to be cachaça, it has to be made in Brazil.
Brazil's product is cachaça.
Cachaça.
And it is sugar cane distillate, just like rum is. Cachaça came first.
Oh.
By easily 100 years.
Okay.
We're talking like 1500s to 1600s.
Wow. So what's going to be the difference in that the spirit that results from that process?
So instead of using molasses, which is a byproduct of the crystalline sugar extraction.
Yeah.
Take it back to the source material, just raw sugarcane juice. It is sweet, but it's vegetable liquid. Oh. You know? So it's you're starting with something that's already a little funky.
So we're rummy, rummish, rum adjacent.
Yeah, rum adjacent.
We're rum adjacent.
Put the H in that. Rum.
Rum.
Take it out.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Is it green?
I've not had
That's
this.
a bottle.
We are starting with Le Blanc. Unaged, typically, some of the quote-unquote premium ones are aged.
Immediately knows I'm getting like fresh and clean. There's a
it.
grassiness, but it's not that. But it's
Not like a typical whiskey grass.
No, it's not a whiskey grassy, but there's like this nature kind of.
If you're saying grassy, I would say kind of like a fairy forest, like a whimsical forest.
God, all right. This is a 96% male audience.
You
I'm
guys
getting
get
a little bit of fairy forest on the
Hey,
nose.
who doesn't like a fairy forest?
That grassiness that you were getting, it's absolutely grassy. Like
Yeah.
it's just there.
It's not a freshly mowed lawn.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, like
it's
the
not
grass in a
titter.
fairy forest.
It's like the smell of like next to a pond.
Right. In a
Like
forest.
those kinds of like
But I'm not
weeds
getting-
Fairies.
and stuff.
Well, but I'm not getting dank.
No,
yeah.
more fairy. More fairy dust? Is that what you were?
Typically people find overripe fruits.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
like think pineapple.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Get in.
That's really light and soft and
Yeah.
and sweet and easy and
Easy drinking. There's a hint of bitterness, like
that kind
Fairy
of
forest. Fairy forest, obviously. Obviously.
the fairy forest.
The fairy forest.
The fairy forest flavor. I also get like a little bit of banana.
If this was not in Brazil, would it meet the criteria to be a rum? Since we're starting from sugar.
The rules
When
of
I-
rum are so loose.
When
But
I
yes.
say Wild West, the rum
Yes.
world is just
Yes.
like whatever.
The whole rum world
That
is
works.
a fairy forest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's the land of make believe. It
this
really
would
is.
be a rum.
Okay.
Another one.
By the way, I'm very annoyed that you get to wear that hoodie. If I still drink, the Dagger Key bottle on the front and then the Whiskey Tribe on the back.
Yeah, isn't that
Come
sick?
on, that's so good. It's the Angel Share Barrel.
Oh,
That's so
yeah.
good. That's so good.
That's what I'm
So
talking about.
cold. I want to put mine
It's
on.
already out. Buy one.
Can we go to the link in the description down below? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Bottle 2.
Yes.
We have a cool one here.
I've had this before.
Cool.
Because we're getting into Amberana, some Amberana experimentation in whiskey, and then Amberana, it's used off in Brazil in production of cachaça.
Cachaça.
Ching.
And I got that because it was in Amberana barrels.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one here, Colibri, partially aged in Amberana. So now that we got like the base idea of,
So many
let's get
words.
into.
See, that's the Amberana.
That's Amberana, baby.
That's the Amberana. It's an exotic offbeat baking spice cinnamon note that comes from the Amberana. It just overwhelms that light, sweet.
It's forward.
If you love it, congratulations. It only takes hours in an Amberana barrel
Yeah.
to show up.
If you hate it, then f you.
Yeah.
Almost leathery.
Somebody gave me the best tasting note for what Amberana does. Barbecue potato chips.
Let's get into.
Noble Fogo.
Oh, actually, just on the nose, I put it back up there and got Fruit Loops.
That original, the white unaged version, on the taste, I can see it in there for just a moment. And then the Amberana sweet,
Yep.
exotic cinnamon,
Yeah.
barbecue
Amberana's
chips.
just like a little
comes
blanket that
back on
comes
the
in on you.
finish.
Yeah.
There's a blanket.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's not big enough for the bed.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Speaking of Amberana,
SnakeWood, which is one of our whiskeys finished in an Amberana barrel.
Right,
And
this
so-
was our experiment. Bourbon whiskey finished in Brazilian Amberana oak.
Yes.
Because getting Amberana to balance with anything, it's so potent. To have that whiskey show up and be beautiful, but also the Amberana to be right there with it. We'll link that in the description down below.
if you want to buy it with your money, cachaça.
Shut up.
Cachaça.
Nailed it.
I don't know.
Finally.
I don't think that was
Hey,
right.
you know what? No more. I'm going out on a high note. Ronnie, you're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, fixing your mistakes. Yep.
Well, so if you're into rum and you got a favorite go-to interesting rum that's worth checking out, let's put it in the comments below. Also, for all you Magnificent Bastards and Patreon, we have an extra 6 minutes of Moose walking through his favorite information sources to get deep divey and nerdy with rum. Also, we blended all those rums together to see what it turned into. Cheers.